Okay, says I'm live. This is not going to have anything really to do with the butterfly cluster today. We covered other bases for the other half of yesterday's video, but okay, I muted it. Okay, okay, but I did not share screen again, and I so should have. So why is it doing that? It should not be telling me what I'm saying. What is happening? It is muted. Refresh. I am. Oh, okay. That's the other one saying where it was at. Okay. So muted the wrong one. Now I've muted the right one. I was trying to figure out what I'm tired. I was up all night live on another channel. And I had a headache yesterday. That's why I forgot to share screen a second time in this video. So now that I have the right one muted, I need my stellarium up. And Sister Ojibwa mentioned the Kachinas, blue and red star Kachinas. I don't know if they're always in one place or if they move around. I don't know much about that. But I was led when she said that to go hunt down Sirius. You can see this good. And because that's where I was told that they are. They're in here somewhere now. I haven't clicked around to try to find anything, but I don't see anything that looks blue or red. So I don't know. Let's see. Oh, well, of course there's a Starlink there. Thanks a lot. Friggin', what's your name? Elon Musk. You and your Starlinks stuck in everything I'm looking up online. So apparently he's spying over here too, like I was yesterday. I didn't click on any stars yesterday, so I didn't find his Starlink there yesterday, but it was probably there. So what we tried to do yesterday is look into the star lore. That's right, I'm going to have to try to move this over. Is that not going to go? Well, that's okay. I'll move this over here. And we're going to find out that this bad boy in certain star lores also turns into an archer. How crazy is that? Also, it turns into the virgins. It just says the virgins. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars that have lines drawn to them. So I'm saying the Bible scripture that talks about the 5 wise virgins and the 5 unwise virgins. And so moving along, it's mostly a dog in most, not virgins again, in most lore. It's just a dog, but the virgins, now that's biblical. Okay, so in Babylonian, it's a bow without the actual archer person. It's a bow and arrow. And that was really cool, but we couldn't see that yesterday because I forgot to reshare screen again. So this is like a part 2 from yesterday, filling in the blanks from yesterday when we were clicking around on this bad boy. And it is still the bow and arrow in other lore. And if you have astrology, or if you have Stellarium, you can do this too. Even in Chinese astrology, it's a bow and arrow. There's just all different kinds of astrology in here. In Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, it's a snake, something snake, Zuzeca, snake. Why, I don't know. And the snake looks like, if that's the tail up there, it looks like there's an egg inside the snake. But I can't really tell which end's the head or the tail. Moving on. Egyptian. Not so much. Okay, and then in that Egyptian, it wasn't so much, but in this Egyptian, Dendera, yeah, Dendera. It's goddess Satis, or Satis, Satis, is right in there. They're using, it seems they're using different stars. Looks like a stick man. The lines do, but see, also an archer. I find this very interesting since we're talking about archers. An archer pointing at the butterfly cluster. So the significance of the archer in lore seems to be pretty important. Okay. Hawaiian. Not much there. Indian Vedic. Also an archer. It's upside down. Here's the torso. Here's his head. Seems to be having a cape just like Sagittarius, with his bow drawn, his bow and his arrow right there. I found that pretty interesting. And remember, this is the dog. Cetus, I do believe. I'll check that again to make sure I'm correct. Before I move on to the grand finale, that was the Orion constellation. Because it's also the throne in the throne room of God, which is all these constellations under his dome, the king dome, the king's dome. Now, there also is scripture about consider the ant. We don't understand that scripture, but below the archer, the dog, and all of that, there's an ant down here. It's not the constellation, but I found it interesting that there was an ant right here. So that'll probably mean something to us in the future. In Korean, it is also a bow and arrow. In Lakota, there's a snake above it, not exactly within the stars, but moving on. Now, this one's Maya, M-A-Y-A. astrology, and it's not exactly the same stars, but just to the left of all of it is a bunch of people in a boat. And I don't understand Mayan astrology either, so, but this one is called the Paddler Gods. I find that interesting. Don't know what it means, but it's interesting. And Ojibwa don't got squat here. Recently in Stellarium, they claimed copyrighted material was used in it, and so they removed a whole bunch of stuff. So I interpret that as Ojibwa probably had something here. Stellarium thought it was too revealing, so they gave another update that removed it. Isn't that special? Very likely. No, that's up. It's not the same area, but there's a mastiff in the vicinity, and the turtle dove, which is spoken about in the One Christmas song, and maybe even others, where I think it's the 12 Days of Christmas. Okay, moving on. Gliding star. What the heck? I don't know what that means, but it's not within our little area here. I just happened to look and see gliding star. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? A line that goes through. That's all that was. That's below it as well. No. Yeah, Kansas, or Canis, not Kansas, Canis Major is what we're looking at here. And of course, there's Columbia, and Columbia is the dove with the olive branch in its mouth, which is what Noah sent out from Noah's Ark, which Argo, this ship down here, is Argo, but I think it's Noah's Ark because of the dove being here with the olive branch in its mouth, symbolizing that there is finally dry land after the flood, and they could now go find dry land and land and stop floating on the water. I think that was it for over here. Oh, wait, yeah. There is one more, and that's this guy seems to be dressed for COVID or something. I don't know. It looks like some sort of royalty also. They have like a rod. Is there another rod over here? Oh, that's two other people, which isn't what we're looking at. Okay, this picture has a rod, a person with like a cape and like a head covering so that their hair is covered. And they call this constellation the Champion in Exhosa. I'm probably butchering and murdering that, but it's XHOSA. XHOSA. And I found that quite interesting when I went poking around, because I haven't really focused on other constellations a whole lot since I found the butterfly cluster, and it blew me away. Now what I want to do is go back to Western astrology and find Orion, because I'm going to close this for now, because Orion is also, that's the throne in the throne room of God, which is everything out here under the dome, God's speech that pours forth day and night for us to read and understand, so that we know what God is saying to us compared to what the world is trying to tell us, which is usually a bunch of big fat lies. And at Orion's left foot starts the Well of Souls. And I call it the Well of Souls. They do not. They just call it ERIDANUS, whatever that is. I haven't looked it up yet. I'm not going to look it up today. It's not the focus. But I know it's the Well of Souls because of reincarnation and the fact that they have one picture throughout this whole thing that's actually the shape of a human body. And being stuck in the cycle of reincarnation, back down here to the clock, the cosmic clock, we have the Phoenix, which is prevalent in most everyone's videos, spiritual, astrological, whatever. And I also want to add while I'm here that I had mentioned in the other video that Nathan and I had made a video a couple years ago talking about this, like 8 after 10 on the cosmic clock here. It says 8 after 10. So 10:08. Well, if you go to Walmart and look at the times on the clocks, they either say 10:08 or 12:08, I think. But still, they say the same time. And I don't remember how I came to that conclusion, but it's in Nathan's video if he didn't delete it. So I'm going to try to resurrect that one if Nathan didn't delete it. And then I'll make a video on that as well, because I do believe that this cosmic clock is so important. But for now, we are here to finally, for those who are newly subbed to my channel and haven't seen my other videos on this yet, it's time to show the new ones, the newbies, the throne of God. Okay, I'm going to move this down here. Again, today's Stellarium is laggy, which I think sucks. Yeah, I don't know. In Babylonian, also, we've got the rooster that Peter heard 3 times as he denied Christ, which is the shepherd of Anu, A-N-U. And so here's the shepherd keeping watch over his flock, all of these constellations, by night and low. You know, the angel of the Lord, blah, blah, as the Christmas story goes. And then here is his shepherd's hook, which is also a rod. And here's the arrow in the Babylonian, because we were looking at Canis Major. Yeah, I am going to move this over so I can have this on screen a little better. Scrolling down. We will get to it. We will absolutely get to it. Belarusian, B-E-L-A-R-U-S-I-A-N. This is another one of the things that they do not want you to know. This is Orion, and it is the throne. The throne. I wish the words would get bigger, but they don't. And the belt, excuse me, the belt of Orion has 3 mowers. You could also call them 3 reapers. And underneath the throne seat is a rake that the souls get raked into, either for reincarnation or to get the F out of Dodge through the butterfly cluster. I'm thinking it's more like the rapture story, where if your heart's as light as a feather and you've been the best you can be, then you become Christed and you get to go live in the kingdom with Christ, which is in the butterfly cluster because it's the splendors of the heavens. And I know that this is Christ's throne, not just because of the picture we just saw, but if you look it up online, and it will be hard to find because they don't want you to find it, but time and time again, we have seen pictures of Christ coming in the clouds in this nebula. So, and I think that was everything that I meant to show in my video yesterday when I forgot to reshare screen again. And if it's not everything, it's good enough, because I don't want the video to stay long. I have to send this to Anna, and she is a very busy woman. Oh yeah, I got to bring this back over. Okay. Stop sharing screen. Hello. Hello, Ojibwa sister. If you're still there, I'm glad you stayed till the end. If not, I hope you come back later and finish it. Until next time, I love you all.